less as 15,000 Ugandan shillings. So with 15,000 Ugandan shillings, you can invest in bonds, you can invest in those securities. For the MTN subscribers, you can use the USSD code of *292#. It is as easy as that, and then you follow the prompt. But because of course, you really need your NIN before to at least register yourself, and within 24 hours, you will be ready to invest. Markets do open at 8:15 a.m. and do close at 3:15 p.m. East African Standard Time. So Zabu says, my money, my future. And that is a platform for you to at least invest in those bonds and securities. Grow your money and don't just save, but save for investment. Zabu is powered by Altex East Africa. And all right, so Smart Means Business is here, your daily Kickstarter, from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. Monday to Friday. Our social media platforms are Twitter, Smart24TV, Instagram, Smart_TV, Facebook, Smart24TV Official, and we are as well on LinkedIn. Our YouTube channel we are streaming live is Smart24TV Live. Please do remember to hit that subscription. But also, on the other hand, as we continue to grow, you can go for more stories and business updates on our website. That is www.smart24.tv, and then catch up from there if at all you missed anything to do with any trending business story all over the world, East Africa and Uganda, obviously. And of course, we are here to make sure that we drive your business. And on mainstream, we are on GoTV channel 394 and DSTV channel 372. Meanwhile, I'm Jerome Paul Sonko, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Now, at this moment in time, let's get into our SMB Insight. And in today's Insight, we look at the high interest rates. As the World Bank's latest global economic prospects report notes that if inflation remains elevated, there will be a repeat of the resolution of the earlier stagflation episode, and this could translate into a sharp global downturn along with financial crisis in some emerging markets and the developing economies of which we fall under. Now, this has resulted to commercial banks in developing countries, particularly ours here, lending out at higher interest rates, which has been influential to personal and development of quite many of the other people in the investment value chain. How have these particular high interest rates in fact affected the business? So we get this from the SMB Insight from Honorable Dixon Kateshumbwa, the Member of Parliament, Shema District, who is also a renowned investor and as well as a huge businessman in this country.
People have come up with their own solutions, saving schemes at the village level. But when I took interest to find out what are these people doing, they are saving little money per month. It is actually outside your jurisdiction. You don't know what is happening as bankers, and it's a lot of money. But what happens? We are here crying over interest rates, but people in the villages are actually bleeding. They are actually borrowing at 48–50%. Yes, and borrowing for consumptive spending. Basically, they are saving for consumption, not investment. So you have these village saving schemes where someone goes and borrows 150,000 to be paid in 6 months, and is required to pay 3,000 per week. You know, he has a need of 150 to go to the hospital, to pay fees. So he borrows and pays 300,000 per week for 6 months. So after 6 months, he has paid about 70-something thousand, which translates to 48% interest rate. So I think I agree with Wilbrod. As we try to tighten the monetary policy, we must look at the fiscal policies. Where I sit as a member of parliament, I feel that government is in a catch-22 situation, but they must be able to balance. You don't want money into saturation, but you have people who have supplied government. You have a lot of areas. They have borrowed money from Wilbrod at a very high rate. You say you don't want to pay them because you don't want money in circulation. The bankers are knocking on their doors. The taxman is knocking on their door because he has issued an invoice.
Yeah.
And then you increase the CBR rate, and the bankers increase, and the burden continues. So basically, the businesses get hurt. At the same time, where I sit, I feel that government needs to do more investment in productive activities. Because if you have a budget deficit, how are you going to cover it? You can only cover it through either more borrowing, but we have reached the threshold, or increased revenue performance. Revenue performance comes from increased economic activity. If there is no economic activity, there is no tax. And increased economic activity without sufficient demand is also a problem, because if the villager cannot consume soda, cannot take a beer, because he has no money, it doesn't matter whether you have increased production of beer as a manufacturer.
There is no commission.
You will not have the what? The indirect tax. So ultimately, it is a catch-22 situation. You cannot celebrate bringing down inflation with all the methods at the expense, while failing to get the balance of growth, especially development, because that leads into the much needed, increased economic activity that will enable you a tax, and then you reduce in the what? In the deficit. So we feel that PDM, for example, the price development model, we allocated about trillion, 100 million per parish. That is direct money that would go into productive agriculture, because Wilbur talked about us increasing access to the market, turning the cargo planes the planes into cargo, taking the goods to Congo. But which goods are you going to take? We are saying we want to raise people from subsistence.
All right, and there you have it from that particular SMB Insight. Meanwhile, when we return shortly, I do have my guest in studio, and we'll be having a topic of discussion. Stick around. In a minute's time, we'll be right back.